Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Hot Seat. I'm your host, Marie Wiese, and this is the podcast where we tackle the most pressing issues of the day for Microsoft partners in the Microsoft channel. And today I'm excited to have Rob Triggs on the show, who is the founder of RTR Partners. Is that correct? Am I saying that right?
It sounds so official when you say it like that, but that's correct.
Yes. And I want to just quickly let our audience today know why Rob is a very interesting guest. And if you're the CEO or founder of a Microsoft partner, this is why you want to have a conversation with Rob at some point in your life. Rob has helped grow a Microsoft practice, helped sell a Microsoft practice to a bigger partner, helped run sales and marketing at the larger Microsoft practice, and is now out on his own with a fantastic new diagnostic tool where he shows Microsoft partners the levers in their business to help them grow their practice. So if you are a Microsoft partner who cares about growing your practice, Rob's probably a guy you want to have a chat with. And I've known Rob for a while. He's a fellow Canadian and an excellent salesperson who has not only great programs for the company, but great programs for the sales individual. So welcome to the hot seat, Rob.
Wow, that was impressive. I got to call my mom and make sure she can listen to all that.
Well, okay. Use AI to do the transcript on that one and spread the word, because I've always been impressed with your sales acumen, and I know that we worked together in a previous company, Microsoft partner, and I was always impressed with the way you led the sales and marketing function. And so I am excited. Very excited, because you and I are going to be presenting a 90-minute workshop at Vibe in September in Salt Lake City, and we'll put in the show notes all the details about that event if you want to register. But Rob and I are coming together to run a workshop that really gives you very good insight into what may or may not be the gaps in your organization, and specifically in your sales and marketing function if you're trying to grow your business. Rob, I'm going to turn it over to you and put you in the hot seat. What are some of the biggest gaps you see in a Microsoft practice as people are trying to grow or scale or even exit their business?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's one of the reasons why I decided not to go off and be the CRO of another Microsoft partner. What I've learned about myself over the years is I'm a builder. I love to build things, and rather than build it and then run it, I'd rather build it and pass the baton over. So what I decided to do is try to package all the things that I've learned over the last 16 plus years in the Microsoft ecosystem, and some of the successes that we had as a partner by thriving and growing and co-selling and exiting successfully, which was the culmination of doing a great job of building a company. And it wasn't just me, right? It was the two founders of the company, me leading the sales and marketing effort and building the team and all those things. So the biggest thing I see that's going on right now in the Microsoft ecosystem is everyone's very, very confused right now. There's a lot of fear and there's a lot of angst over that two-letter acronym, AI, and what should they be doing, what shouldn't they be doing, is what they're doing working, what is the ROI of all the time and money they're spending on it, and everyone's looking over their shoulder looking for answers to that. And that's just one, it's a big thing, but that's one small thing that owners of Microsoft partners need to worry about. The core building blocks of any strong company have not changed. They are the same. Exactly. And so we are all in this Microsoft ecosystem. We all sell pretty much the same or similar things with our own spin on it, right? We have our own clients that we serve. We have our industries we serve. We have our own IP. So we've got all these ingredients to a successful company. And the problem with a cupboard full of too many ingredients without a proper recipe is you make a pretty crappy cake, right? If you're not doing it properly. Someone put the sugar where the salt was supposed to be and vice versa.
Black beans don't belong in the cupcakes.
Exactly. And the problem with being a partner is who do you listen to? Like really, who do you really listen to? And so what you and I are trying to do is cut through the noise and just give partners a place that they can go and just open up in a confidential way and have a discussion. So with the birth of Vibe, a Vibe is that type of event where we get to go. So you and I are not going to stand on a stage with all these slides behind us on a PowerPoint deck and pontificate how smart we are. That's not what we're going to do. Now, we'll do a little bit of that because we have to set the tone. But then we're going to actually roll up our sleeves, take off the fancy jackets, and we're going to have a deep dive into what's really going on in the partner community and how a partner can really focus their time and their very valuable dollars and invest them properly into the things that matter most. And so that's what we're doing. We're going to meet and we're going to give them the tools they need to know where to focus, where not to focus, where the biggest bang for their buck's going to be. And it's all based on what's going on right now, right? With the shift. We just finished the Microsoft year end, and now we're hearing about all the new things that are coming. And on July 22nd, we'll hear even more. But you know what? You and I have been in this before. Most listeners have as well. Every July is the same. It's what's the shift this year. And so anyway,
every July, the partners kind of hold their breath and dread what are the big changes coming? What's going to happen now to commissions and designations? And so one of the things I love about your diagnostic tool, and one of the things we've talked about over the past few months as we've been putting this workshop together, is the idea that if you're a Microsoft partner, you really have two main audiences you have to be aware of and understand. I'm going to argue three as a marketer, but I'll throw the third one in a second. And those two main audiences are obviously your prospects and your customers and what's going on in the world with respect to the technology solutions that they require that you can help deliver on the Microsoft platform.
Yeah.
And then there's Microsoft itself.
Yes.
And I think we would agree that as a Microsoft partner, whether you're an ISV, MSP, a pure integrator of ERP, whatever it happens to be, those are a lot of acronyms I just used there. You are constantly trying to understand not just what Microsoft is telling you or what you can take advantage of as a partner, but you need to raise your profile with Microsoft. And even more so now, as Microsoft has streamlined their sales organization. If you think a sales rep at Microsoft isn't sitting around using AI to figure out who the best partner is to bring into a deal, specifically in the pharmaceutical sector, you're going to lose out. You have to know these things. And so part of what we're going to be doing in our workshop, which, as I said, is very hands-on, is talking about those two audiences, your customers and your prospects, and Microsoft. And I would argue as a marketer that the third audience is the machine. The machine being Google, AI, anything that needs the information to understand when people are searching or looking for solutions to problems that you get found. And I think a lot of Microsoft partners understand the importance of building relationships with Microsoft, but they just don't know how to go about doing it. It is not easy.
No.
And as you've noted, every July, it seems like the sand shifts.
Yeah.
And so you might have done a lot of work one year and next year it doesn't apply. So we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of that, some things that you can do. And as we're looking at other things that we're going to get people to roll up their sleeves and work on, what's the other heavy lifting we're going to force them to do, Rob?
Well, so it's funny because I could have went out and just been a chief revenue officer of another partner and helped to do this. And if I were to do that, one of the first things I would do is I would answer the questions that are in this diagnostic that we've created. And because there's not a lot of sales leaders that can come in and take a partner and actually fix the things that need fixing before the revenue engine starts to take off.
Right.
Because you either have an executor type of sales leader who comes in and executes something that's there, or you have a builder. It's really hard to be both. And there are some out there that are both, but they're hard to find. And so what has to happen is there has to be a diagnostic that takes place to understand what are all the building blocks of a strong foundation for a Microsoft partner. That's what the diagnostic does. And we're talking a bit about marketing here, but sales is just as important, if not more important, depending on who you're talking to. I think it's an equal, by the way. In fact, we coined a word years ago called smarketing. So I used to call
I
our
remember
sales
that.
department the
A little
smarketing
sad it
department.
didn't take off, but yes, you're right.
Well,
It's very important.
yeah, so here's the thing. Creating demand, there's tools that you work with every day with partners to do that. But I used to I used to say you need two marketing plans, one for the external customer and one for Microsoft. And they're similar but fundamentally different. And a lot of partners think you can put a listing on Microsoft Marketplace and all of a sudden leads will rain down, and that's just not the case. It's quite a complex labyrinth of things that need to happen. But if you were to build a new house, you would say that that's a complex labyrinth of things that need to happen. So you hire an architect, and the architect comes and designs the structure the way it needs to be properly so it doesn't cave in, and then makes it the way that you want. So that's what we're doing. So you and I are going to be in a session at the Vibe conference. We're going to leverage some of the things that I do every day, some of the things that you do every day, so that marketing and sales will come together at this event, sit down with partners who are struggling, and help them live while they're there. When they leave, they're going to leave with something tangible, something that they can go and implement right away as soon as they get back to work.
And I think whether you're the founder, the CRO, the CEO, the head of sales, the head of marketing, even if you're head of customer service, I think that this session applies because it's the practical fundamentals that need to be there if you're going to grow your practice. And so I'm very excited to be taking part. So just for listeners who might not have caught that earlier in the podcast, we're going to be at Vibe in September. I think it's the 21st to the 23rd of September in Salt Lake City in Utah. And I think what's really interesting about this event versus other events that you can attend in the channel, which are all good, but they're all slightly different. And the great thing about this is it's very much a peer-to-peer conversation. It's a peer group type setting. And it's not thousands and thousands of people milling through a huge convention center trying to figure out what session to attend. This is very much moving from one session to the next with your colleagues, having an opportunity at any given moment to discuss with a colleague, what are you doing that's working? There's nothing that's proprietary or competitive about it. And I think that's what makes this event very unique, not to mention it's being hosted by two women who have spent over 20 years in the channel and completely understand programming and how to support people who have companies in the Microsoft practice or in the Microsoft channel. So I think for so many reasons, it's a great event. If you are a Microsoft partner who's maybe plateaued in your revenue, maybe you're trying to figure out a way forward, you might be trying to figure out your next step to becoming a frontier partner, or you might be at the end of the road and deciding it's time to exit your business. This is an excellent event to attend, and our session is going to help you put the building blocks in place. So I'm looking forward to it, Rob. Thank you for being on the show today, just to give people a taste of what they can expect if they join us at Vibe. And as I mentioned, we'll put all the details if you want to register in the show notes. Thanks for being here, Rob.
Thanks, Maria. I appreciate it.
And thank you for being in the hot seat.
Yeah, it's
Appreciate
very
that
hot in
very
here.
much.
Thank you.
You've been listening to another episode of The Hot Seat. I'm your host, Marie Wiese. And as always, thank you for listening.